photos. Harvey was thrilled to have discovered such an amazing sight, and he felt a sense of pride and accomplishment. After the second dive, Harvey and the others returned to the dive boat, tired but happy. They chatted about their experiences and shared their photos, swapping stories and tips. Harvey couldn't believe how lucky he was to have such an incredible job, exploring one of the most beautiful places on Earth. As the sun set over the reef, Harvey settled into his cabin, ready for a good night's sleep. He knew that tomorrow would bring more adventures and more discoveries, and he couldn't wait to see what the reef had in store for him next. Harvey had always been fascinated by shipwrecks, and after yesterday's dive where they discovered one in the Great Barrier Reef, he knew he had to return for a closer look. He planned his dive carefully, ensuring he had all the necessary gear, and set out early in the morning together with his fellow divers. As they approached the shipwreck, he noticed something moving in the distance. At first, he assumed it was just a school of fish, but as he got closer, he realized it was something much bigger, a great white shark. Harvey's heart began to race with excitement and apprehension. He had never encountered great white sharks up close before, and he knew that one wrong move could mean disaster. As Harvey entered the water, he was immediately struck by the sheer size and power of the great white sharks. They glided through the water with an effortless grace, their razor-sharp teeth gleaming in the sunlight. Despite their fearsome reputation, Harvey felt a deep respect and awe for these magnificent creatures. He moved slowly and deliberately, keeping a safe distance while carefully tagging each one with a small device. As the day wore on, Harvey's initial apprehension began to give way to a sense of wonder and exhilaration. He was witnessing one of nature's most incredible spectacles, and he knew that he was privileged to be a part of it. Harvey watched the massive shark circling around the shipwreck. He knew that great whites were common in the area, but he had never encountered one up close before. He hesitated for a moment, wondering if they should abandon the dive, but his curiosity got the better of him, and he convinced the others to press on. They approached the wreck slowly and carefully, keeping a close eye on the shark. As they got closer, Harvey realized that the wreck was home to a whole ecosystem of marine life. Schools of fish swam in the Atlantic Ocean. The water stretched out before him, an endless churning mass of blue and green. The sun was just starting to dip below the horizon, his shape cutting through the water towards him. For a moment, they thought it was a friendly marine animal like a dolphin or whale, but the relief turned into sheer terror when they realized that it was an oceanic white-tipped shark, a predator renowned for its aggression and fearlessness. This was not just any shark, but a killing machine that could detect blood from miles away and could swim at incredible speeds of up to 25 miles per hour. Its sharp serrated teeth were designed to rip flesh and crush bones with ease, and its dark, lifeless eyes conveyed a cold, unfeeling hunger for flesh. As the shark closed in on Mason, its movements became more erratic and frenzied, and its large, muscular body seemed to dwarf the helpless fisherman. The water around it churned and frothed with an unsettling energy as the shark prepared to attack. The crew members felt a wave of panic wash over them as they realized that they were facing off against one of the most dangerous predators in the ocean. Mason fought to stay above the water, his muscles burning from the effort as he kicked and thrashed to keep the shark at bay. The oceanic white tip circled him, its dark, lifeless eyes fixed on his prey with a chilling intensity. Its sleek body moved with sinuous grace, closing in on Mason with each pass, its sharp teeth glinting in the sunlight. The shark's aggression intensified. With lightning speed, the predator lunged at Mason, its jaws gaping wide, rows of teeth gleaming with a primal hunger. Mason's heart pounded in his chest as he grasped the rope, feeling the rough fibers bite into his hands. But before he could pull himself to safety, the shark struck. Its razor-sharp teeth sank into Mason's leg, tearing through flesh and bone with brutal force. A searing pain shot through him, and he cried out in agony as blood clouded the water around him. The crew shouted in horror, trying to haul Mason aboard as the shark refused to let go. The beast thrashed and shook its massive head, determined to drag Mason under the water. The fisherman's grip on the rope faltered, but he clung on with all his strength, fueled by sheer willpower and the adrenaline coursing through his veins. In a heart-stopping moment, the shark ripped Mason's leg clean off, leaving a gruesome trail of blood in its wake. Mason screamed in agony, a primal scream that brought shivers down the spine of all his crewmates, trying desperately to pull him out of the water. The scene was brutal. The mixture of flesh and blood swirling like a vortex on the churning water left by the shark that plummeted under the water. Taking with it a piece of Mason, the shark was relentless. From under the water, the shark emerged like a torpedo, and it attacked once more, this time latching onto his remaining leg. Mason screamed in agony as the shark ripped his leg off. He could feel his flesh ripping apart as his other leg was devoured by her eyes fixated on the crystal clear waters that housed the awe-inspiring great white shark she had been observing for more than a year. The Shark Research Facility in Japan was a marvel of modern science, a cutting-edge facility built to study and unravel the mysteries of these formidable apex predators. Gracefully glided through the water, its sleek body a picture of power and grace. Ayumi had developed a special bond with Kuro during her time at the research facility. She had spent countless hours observing and documenting Kuro's behavior, and had grown to respect and admire the creature's beauty and strength. But today, something was off. Kuro was behaving unusually, swimming faster than usual, and bumping into walls of the aquarium with force. Ayumi furrowed her brow in concern as she observed Kuro's erratic behavior. She had never seen Kuro act like this before, and it sent a shiver down her spine. She decided to wrap up her observation and started making her way towards the surface. But before she could reach the top, Kuro suddenly changed direction and started circling her, its large black eyes fixed on her with an intensity that made her heart skip a beat. Ayumi's heart pounded in her chest as she realized the danger she was in. She tried to swim away from Kuro, but the shark was relentless in its pursuit. It circled closer and closer, its powerful body cutting through the water with alarming speed. Ayumi's mind raced as she desperately tried to come up with a plan to escape the shark's deadly jaws. Before Ayumi could react, it happened. In a heart-stopping moment, Kuro charged at her with astonishing speed, a blur of sleek muscle and razor-sharp teeth. Ayumi was caught off guard, unable to evade the massive predator in time. With a bone-crushing impact, Kuro slammed into her, pinning her against the unforgiving glass wall of the aquarium. Ayumi's head struck the glass, a sickening thud echoing through the air, and warm blood oozed down her face, mixing with the salt water. The metallic scent of blood seemed to trigger a primal instinct in Kuro, as the once graceful shark now transformed into a frenzied beast. Thrashing violently in the water, jaws snapping dangerously close, Kuro's eyes were filled with a predatory's madness as Ayumi found herself trapped and at the mercy of a creature she had spent her life studying. Desperation surged through Ayumi as she realized the gravity of her situation. With adrenaline coursing through her veins, she kicked and thrashed, desperately trying to free herself from Kuro's jaws. But the shark's immense power was overwhelming. She felt the sharp pain of teeth sinking into her flesh, tearing her limbs apart one by one. Blood clouded the water around her, staining it a murky red, as Kuro tore into her with savage ferocity. Ayumi's screams were muffled by the water, her frantic movements fueled by sheer survival instinct. She fought with every ounce of strength she had left, her body writhing in agony, as she refused to succumb to the relentless assault of the creature she had once studied, determined to cling to life until her very last breath. Amidst the chaos, one of the researchers caught wind of the commotion and immediately alerted the rest of the team. A rescue crew scrambled to the scene, but what they encountered left them paralyzed with shock. A ghastly scene before them was one of sheer horror. Ayumi's lifeless body bobbing in the water, her eyes frozen in a look of terror. Kuro was still in a frenzy, thrashing wildly and ripping chunks of flesh from Ayumi's body with a ferocity that defied belief. With a burst of speed, the shark launched itself out of the water, and in one fluid motion, devoured Ayumi's mangled remains in a gruesome display of savagery. The crew watched in disbelief and horror as the water swirled in a vortex of water, flesh, and blood. And just like that, Kuro disappeared into the depths, dragging Ayumi's tattered corpse behind. Body had been brutally torn apart by the shark, and only her head remained, lifeless and rolling at the bottom of the tank. The scene was a gruesome sight to behold, one that left an indelible mark on the minds of all who witnessed it. The once bustling Shark Research Center now stood silent and empty, a solemn monument to the tragedy that had occurred within its walls. Even Kuro, the culprit behind the attack, met a tragic end, his life cut short by the consequences of his deadly actions. Euthanized as a result of the attack, Kuro's fate was a stark reminder of the high stakes and risk involved in the pursuit of scientific, a popular destination for locals and tourists alike. It was a long stretch of golden sand, dotted with brightly colored umbrellas and beach chairs. The water was a vibrant turquoise blue, and the waves were gentle and inviting. It was flanked by tall cliffs on either side, creating a natural amphitheater that amplified the sounds of the waves and the laughter of the people on the beach. The cliffs were covered in lush green foliage, providing a striking contrast to the golden sand and blue water. At one end of the beach, there was a small harbor where boats could be rented for fishing or sightseeing. At the other end, there was a rocky outcropping that jutted out into the water, providing a popular spot for cliff jumping. There were several amenities on the beach, including restrooms, showers, and a snack bar. Much of it. After all, they had been swimming in the ocean before and had never encountered any danger. Then suddenly, Alex felt a sharp pain in his leg. He looked down to see a massive great white shark, its razor-sharp teeth sinking deep into his flesh. The force of the attack knocked him off his feet, and he struggled to stay afloat as the shark dragged him underwater. The group of teenagers witnessed a horrifying and violent attack as the shark's teeth sank deep into Alex's flesh, causing him to cry out in pain. The other teenagers screamed and tried to swim away, but the shark was too fast. As the shark circled back around for a second attack, its jaws gaped wide open as it prepared to strike again. This time, it bit down hard on Alex's torso, severing his body in two. The teenagers saw the full extent of the damage it had caused as their friend's lifeless body floated to the surface, torn apart and mangled beyond recognition. They watched in horror as the shark continued to thrash around, hungry for more. The other teenagers in the group realized they were in danger and quickly began to swim away as fast as they could. The water around them was turned up, making it difficult to see where the shark was, but they knew they had to get as far away as possible. As they swam, the teenagers could hear the shark's powerful thrashing in the water behind them, which only spurred them to swim faster. They knew they couldn't outrun the shark, but they hoped to create enough distance between themselves and the shark to give them a chance to reach the shore. Despite the terror and panic they felt, the teenagers remained focused on swimming and tried not to let their fear get the best of them. They swam in a zigzag pattern, hoping to make it harder for the shark to follow them. Eventually, after what felt like an eternity, the group reached the shore. They staggered out of the water, panting and trembling with fear, but relieved to have escaped with their lives. They looked out at the water, watching as the shark continued to thrash around, its massive body visible in the churning waves. The attack of the great white shark sent shockwaves through the beach, and people quickly realized that they were in danger. As the other teenagers in the water tried to swim away, people on the shore began to scream and shout, urging them to come back to the beach. The beach quickly became a scene of chaos as people scrambled to get out of the water and call for help. As news of the attack spread, searching the water for any signs of the shark. They used thermal imaging cameras to try to detect the shark's body heat, but they were unable to locate it. As news of the attack spread, more and more emergency services arrived on the scene, including Marine patrol units and Coast Guard vessels. They scoured the water for any signs of the shark. The beach became crowded with onlookers, and many people were outraged that such a dangerous predator could be lurking so close to shore, and called for increased measures to control shark populations. For the family and friends of Alex, there was no comfort to be found in the aftermath of the attack. They were left to grieve the loss of a young life cut tragically short, and to wonder how something so horrific could happen to someone so innocent. The memory of that day would haunt them forever, a reminder of the brutal and unpredictable nature of the world we live in.
With their turquoise waters and powdery beaches have always been a dream destination for those seeking tranquility and adventure. Little did the trio know that their journey would lead them into the jaws of danger, forever altering their perception of the ocean's allure. The Seychelles, known for their breathtaking beauty and diverse legends that added an air of mystique to the already captivating clear waters, greeted them, revealing a kaleidoscope of marine life beneath the surface. Vibrant coral formations danced in the gentle currents, and schools of exotic fish darted in and out of the reefs. Emily, Mark, and Jessica were captivated, their awe masking any lingering nervousness. Their underwater adventure continued without incident, each moment unveiling the majesty of the ocean's depths. As they ventured farther from the boat, tranquility enveloped them. The rhythmic ebb and flow of the tide served as a backdrop to the captivating dance of marine life. Emily, who had always been an avid nature enthusiast, marveled at the coral's vibrant hues and intricate patterns. Mark, a dedicated marine biology student, observed the interactions between different species, his curiosity piqued by the ecosystem's delicate balance. Jessica, a free spirit with a penchant for exploration, reveled in the freedom of weightlessly gliding through the water. However, their peaceful exploration was abruptly shattered by a sudden shadow that darkened the water around them. Emily's heart raced as she saw a massive great white shark emerging from the depths, its powerful form brimming with raw energy. Panic rippled through their group, and Emily's initial sense of wonder transformed into heart-pounding fear. The trio shared wide-eyed glances, their collective realization sinking in. They were facing a predator in its prime, and their lives hung in the balance. The great white shark's presence was as unexpected as it was alarming. It circled them with an intense gaze, its predatory instincts ignited by the presence of potential prey. As the trio's heartbeats echoed in their ears, A surge of adrenaline propelled them into action. Captain Bennett's voice resonated through their minds, urging them to stay calm and maintain eye contact with the shark. But their efforts were in vain as the shark's curiosity morphed into aggression. Without warning, the great white shark charged at them, its mighty jaws tearing through the water. Emily, Mark, and Jessica frantically swam to evade the beast, but the shark's speed and agility were unmatched. In a horrifying instant, Jessica felt a searing pain in her leg as the great white shark's razor-sharp teeth sank into her calf. The force of the attack propelled her body sideways, the sheer power of the predator's bite leaving her helpless and at the mercy of its relentless assault. Blood mingled with the surrounding water, heightening the shark's frenzy as it thrashed violently, determined to overcome its prey. In a desperate bid to protect their lives, Emily, Mark, and Jessica swam frantically toward the surface. Captain Bennett, recognizing the urgency of the situation, swiftly intervened. Armed with a metal pole, he created a wall of defense between the shark and his distressed companions. The great white shark's aggression intensified, its menacing figure a stark reminder of the precariousness of their predicament. Its eyes fixated on Jessica's injured leg, the predator seemed determined to claim its prize, its aggression unwavering even in the face of human intervention. The waters churned with frenetic energy, a primal battle of survival that raged beneath the tranquil surface. Captain Bennett's resolute stance held the great white shark at bay, the metal pole as a barrier between life and death. Fueled by adrenaline and fear, Emily and Mark joined forces to create a wall of their own. Their eyes locked onto the predator that threatened to shatter their world. The once serene ocean had transformed into a realm of terror, where instincts clashed, and the struggle for dominance hung in the balance. The great white shark's resolve began to waver as the minutes stretched into an eternity. Its piercing eyes, cold and unrelenting, flickered with uncertainty. With a final powerful surge, the shark veered away, disappearing into the depths, leaving behind a cloud of disoriented fish and a trio of survivors still trembling with shock. The waters gradually calmed, the ripples dissipating into stillness. Emily, Mark, and Jessica clung to each other, their bodies shaking from the adrenaline that still coursed through their veins. With Captain Bennett's unyielding determination and the trio's sheer will to survive, they diverted the great white shark's attention away. Had become a symbol of both wonder and peril, an embodiment of the dichotomy between the allure and danger of nature. Without facing the same peril they had endured. Seychelles, with its serene beaches and azure waters, remained a waves crashing against the shore formed the familiar symphony of his coastal paradise. A lot of dolphins danced, their playful acrobatics capturing his attention. Entranced by their beauty, Alex paused to admire their joyful display, his eyes tracing their arcs and dives against the azure canvas. With the dolphins venturing farther into the ocean's expanse, Alex's curiosity was piqued, and he decided to follow, drawn by the allure of these creatures' graceful freedom. As he approached the deeper waters, a sudden chill gripped his heart. An unsettling feeling of unease crept over him like an invisible presence lurked beneath the surface. The dolphins that once brought him joy now seemed like messengers of impending doom. Fear's icy fingers. In an agonizing heartbeat, the shark's jaws snapped shut around Alex's surfboard, tearing it apart with a deafening crash. Panic surged through his veins as he watched the creature's primal might. With a guttural roar of despair, he kicked and paddled, trying to distance himself from the jaws of death that lurked just inches away. But the relentless predator was unrelenting, closing in on Alex with an eerie determination. He could almost feel the coldness of its eyes fixated on him. Its immense form loomed even closer, its powerful tail propelling it through the water with terrifying speed. Suddenly, the predator lunged, jaws agape, and Alex's world frenzy, a battleground where man and beast clashed in a primal struggle for dominance. In a last-ditch effort, Alex summoned every ounce of strength and jabbed his fingers into the shark's gills. Desperate to disorient once his playground, had become a reminder of the lurking dangers beneath the surface. Still, the visible and invisible scars were a reminder of the day he stared into the abyss and emerged victorious. With time, he knew the memories would fade, but the lessons he had learned and the unbreakable bond with his friends would remain a testament to the resilience of the human spirit in the face of Indonesia lies one of the world's most breathtaking natural wonders, the Raja Ampat Archipelago. With its pristine waters and vibrant marine life, this remarkable paradise consists of over 1,500 small islands, creating a mosaic of beauty and biodiversity in the heart of the Coral Triangle. Home to an extraordinary array of marine species, from colorful fish and graceful turtles to the majestic manta rays, the Raja Ampat Archipelago is also home to a diverse population of sharks, vital to the delicate balance of the underwater ecosystem and life as sea snails, clams, crabs, and coral formations painted an exquisite tapestry beneath the waves. The Raja Ampat's majestic marine world captivated them with every passing moment, creating an enchanting embrace that held Elena, Alexei, and Kadek in its thrall. The couple's initial hesitation gave way to awe as they ventured deeper into the crystal-clear depths, mesmerized by the dance of marine life surrounding them. A graceful sea turtle gliding past Elena left an indelible mark on her heart. At the same time, Alexei, armed with an underwater camera provided by Kadek, endeavored to capture the magic of the aquatic flora and fauna. As they delved further into this mesmerizing world, the calm waters became a welcoming embrace, and the reef's beauty stirred their spirits. The time came to resurface, but not before Kadek offered a knowing smile, assuring them they would treasure the experience. As they swam back towards the resort's dock, a sudden shadow caught Elena's attention, and a surge of panic overtook her. Kadek's calming words did little to quell the rising fear, especially when he dove down to investigate. Emerging with a grave expression, he urgently directed Elena and Alexei to swim to the dock, cautioning them about two black-tipped sharks trailing behind them. Fear gripped their hearts as the sharks steadily closed the distance, their presence an unsettling reminder of nature's raw power. Elena's heart raced, and despite Kadek's reassuring voice, she felt its mighty jaws clamping onto her foot. Blood mingled with the ocean, a chilling spectacle of nature's savagery. Elena's cries filled the water, her life hanging in the balance. Kadek's instincts kicked in, propelling him into action despite the terror that gripped him and around them, a grim reminder of the perilous encounter that had just unfolded. As Elena and Kadek swam towards the dock, the sharks lost interest. They disappeared into the depths. Leva Ampat Archipelago, once a symbol of beauty and enchantment, had been transformed into a place where the thin veneer of tranquility could give way to the primal forces that lurked beneath the surface. Elena's near-tragic encounter with the great white shark was a stark reminder that nature's power could be awe-inspiring and terrifying even in paradise. The Raja Ampat Archipelago remained a place of wonder and beauty, its coral reefs and vibrant marine life a testament to the fragile balance of nature. But it was also a place where the untamed forces of the ocean could remind even the bravest souls of their vulnerability, underscoring the delicate dance between humans and the wild world surrounding them. Sarah Summers, a 40-year-old environmental scientist, was the backbone of their family. Her expertise wasn't limited to her work. It also extended to her role as the family's enthusiastic planner. John Summers, Sarah's 42-year-old husband, was a former Navy SEAL turned maritime engineer. His extensive knowledge of the sea made every adventure both thrilling and safe. At 18, their son Jake was curious and had a heart of wonder for the natural world. The family had come to the Bahamas seeking the ultimate marine adventure, a close encounter with these azure waters' diverse and vibrant underwater life. Setting their course for the Abaco Islands, they charted a path to a remote, untouched cove, known only to a few experienced sailors. Their boat, the Sea Voyager, was a sturdy vessel equipped for exploration, with diving gear, snorkels, and enough supplies to last a week. Their decision to venture off the beaten path was driven by Sarah's desire to study the unspoiled marine ecosystems, documenting the impacts of climate change on coral reefs in this less explored region. John, always up for an underwater escapade, saw it as an opportunity to bond with his family and share his love for the sea with Jake. As they sailed further from the bustling tourist spots, the Summers family relished the tranquility of the remote islands. The clear turquoise waters, vibrant coral formations, and abundant marine life made the journey even more enchanting. On the fateful day of June 17, 2001, they anchored the Sea Voyager in a hidden cove off the Abaco Islands, eager to begin their underwater exploration and immerse themselves in the beauty of the Bahamian seas. Sarah, John, and Jake donned their snorkeling gear, and with hearts full of anticipation, they descended into the crystal-clear waters. Exploring the vibrant coral reefs, they marveled at the kaleidoscope of marine life beneath the surface. Schools of colorful fish darted in and out of the coral formations, creating a mesmerizing aquatic ballet. Sarah meticulously documented her findings while John and Jake swam alongside her, their faces lit up with wonder. As the family ventured deeper into the submerged world, an eerie feeling washed over them. The water grew darker and the once calm sea began to churn. Out of the profound blue abyss materialized a single imposing tiger shark. The once calm ocean became a battleground, the water swirling with raw energy as the shark homed in her conviction that it was indeed feasible to comprehend and peacefully coexist with these formidable apex predators. The oceans had a threat that demanded a tremendous amount of respect. On a particularly fateful morning, Sarah and Mark found themselves amid an extraordinary adventure as they diligently observed the movements of a majestic shark from the comfort and safety of their state-of-the-art submersible vessel. The serene tranquility of the vast ocean was abruptly shattered by an earth-shattering impact that reverberated through the depths, leaving them in a state of shock and awe. With an unwavering determination, fueled by its primal instincts, the awe-inspiring great white shark forcefully collided with their watercraft, leaving no room for compromise or retreat. The submersible, a state-of-the-art vessel designed to withstand the immense pressures of the deep sea, found itself in a harrowing situation as it trembled under the relentless and overwhelming assault it was subjected to. The blare of alarms filled the air, a stark reminder of the imminent danger. Gradually, a sense of urgency and panic permeated the atmosphere as water, with its relentless determination, started to seep through the compromised hull, threatening to breach the vessel's fragile barrier and plunge its occupants into the unforgiving depths of the ocean. A wave of panic surged through Sarah and Mark, causing their hearts to race and their hands to tremble as they desperately grappled with the complex and unfamiliar controls in front of them. Outside, in the vast expanse of the open air, the formidable predator, with its immense power and strength, moved with a calculated grace, emanating an aura of darkness and fear. Its piercing black eyes, filled with an intensity that seemed to penetrate the depths of the night, added to its eerie and ominous presence. As the seconds ticked away, the water level inside the submersible continued rising steadily, creating an imminent danger that loomed over them as if it were a menacing force ready to consume their existence. Sarah's fingers trembled with anticipation and excitement as she carefully activated the prototype acoustic device she had spent countless hours developing. With bated breath, she watched the device come to life, emitting a mesmerizing and haunting melody that reverberated through
Salt water stinging his eyes and nostrils. He kicked and thrashed, desperate to reach the surface and escape the jaws of the great white. But the shark was relentless, circling him with the precision of a hunter, waiting for the perfect moment to strike. Blood seeped into the water from the gash on Andy's leg, a result of the shark's initial assault. The metallic tang of blood filled the water, further inciting the shark's primal instincts. Andy's heart raced as he felt the beast's massive jaws clamp down on his leg, its serrated teeth tearing through flesh and bone like a hot knife through butter. He screamed, the pain unbearable, as the shark shook its massive head, trying to rip him apart. Andy's survival instincts kicked in, and he fought back with everything he had. He jabbed at the shark's eyes, desperately trying to pry open its monstrous jaws that were clamped around his leg. The water turned into a crimson hue as blood mixed with seawater, creating a macabre scene. His vision blurred, his strength waning. Andy knew he was in the fight for his life. He mustered every ounce of energy left in him and delivered a powerful punch to the shark's snout. The shark finally released him, its eyes rolling back in momentary shock, giving Andy the opportunity he needed. He propelled himself towards the surface, blood trailing behind him like a grotesque crimson ribbon. His friends on the boat were screaming his name, reaching out for him as he breached the surface, gasping for air. But the shark wasn't done yet. With a final burst of speed, the great white charged at Andy, its massive jaws gaping wide. Andy's friends watched in horror as the shark's teeth closed around him, tearing him apart in a gruesome spectacle. Blood sprayed into the air, painting the ocean in a deep shade of red as Andy's body disappeared beneath the surface, consumed by a ravenous predator. The sea calmed, the only evidence of the harrowing ordeal being the blood-stained water, a haunting reminder of the brutal power and unforgiving nature of the great white shark. The rest of the trip was a blur for the group. They made up stories about what had happened to Andy, telling anyone who asked that he had met a girl and decided to stay in South Carolina.
Sarah, a courageous individual with an unparalleled fascination for the majestic creatures of the deep blue sea, had dedicated her entire existence to unraveling the enigmatic and captivating behaviors exhibited by the awe-inspiring great white shark. Equipped with the most advanced technological advancements and unwavering resolve, she courageously set out on a momentous expedition destined to swiftly and unexpectedly veer toward a foreboding and unsettling direction. Sarah's insatiable thirst for knowledge was propelled forward by the deep-rooted fascination she developed during her formative years, a fascination that was ignited by the captivating tales her beloved grandfather had told her sometimes back her with, painting vivid pictures of the beauties of the ocean. He had been a highly experienced and skilled fisherman who had fearlessly and respectfully confronted the tumultuous and unpredictable nature of the vast and mighty oceans. As Sarah, a passionate marine biologist, bravely descended into the captivating abyss of the crystal-clear water surrounding the enchanting Santa Catalina Island, her dedicated and ever-reliable research assistant Mark Anderson wholeheartedly joined her on this awe-inspiring expedition. Mark, a highly reliable and passionate marine biologist with a profound love for the ocean and its magnificent creatures, had formed an unbreakable bond with Sarah, a fellow enthusiast of the fascinating world of sharks, ever since their serendipitous encounter during their time together in graduate school. Together, with a shared sense of curiosity and determination, they embarked on a thrilling journey in the vast expanse of the ocean, eagerly yearning to unravel the explorations that lay hidden within the awe-inspiring realm of the majestic great white sharks that gracefully roamed these very waters. Their extensive and groundbreaking research had already yielded remarkable insights into sharks' intricate migratory patterns and sophisticated hunting behaviors. However, the insatiable thirst for knowledge and the relentless pursuit of scientific discovery compelled them to yearn for even greater depths of understanding and uncovering the truths within these majestic creatures' worlds. The coastal town's residents wholeheartedly embraced the valuable work being done, expressing deep gratitude for the newfound knowledge and enhanced awareness regarding the awe-inspiring predators that coexisted within their community. As the days slowly but surely passed by, Sarah and Mark, two individuals initially filled with curiosity, became more and more captivated by the foreboding existence of a genuinely awe-inspiring creature, the great white shark. It was an incredibly massive creature, an imposing and formidable shadowy figure that appeared to relentlessly haunt the vast waters of the enchanting Santa Catalina Island. The locals, who were well aware of the dangers ahead, had taken it upon themselves to warn Sarah about a predator lurking in the area. However, despite the numerous warnings and concerns raised by others, Sarah's unwavering determination and relentless ambition propelled her forward, causing her to disregard any potential obstacles or setbacks that may lie in her path. Despite the dangers ahead, she held steadfast and began unfolding in 1995 on the magnificent coast of Cape Santorini, located in Greece. The tranquil fishing community of Porto Nova, which was found tucked away between towering cliffs and the vast expanse of the Aegean Sea, had long flourished due to the abundance of the sea's resources. This sleepy town in the Mediterranean primarily depended upon its fishermen, famous for their undying dedication to the water. A young marine biologist named Elena Vasquez was one of the island's most notable residents. Elena was a bold and exploratory woman with a strong interest in sharks. She had traveled to Porto Nova to learn more about these magnificent beasts found in the waters off the city's shore. Elena was incomparable to any other researcher. She pursued her research with a reverence that bordered on obsession, and as a result, she forged a profound connection with the great white sharks that prowled the underwater canyons. Her objective was to unravel the exploration surrounding these predators by shedding light on their behaviors and the dynamics among them. Her work had won the adoration of the residents, who fondly referred to her as the Siren of the Deep, for her ethereal beauty and steadfast love of the water. The presence of Elena in Porto Nova was a glimmer of light, a symbol of the harmony that might exist between man and nature. The scientific community was stunned by Elena's most recent discovery, which sent waves across the community. She had been following a gigantic great white shark that she had dubbed the beast of unmatched size and intelligence. Elena was fascinated by the motions of the shark since they appeared to follow a pattern that could be explained using scientific principles. As each day passed, the villagers' anticipation and enthusiasm increased to a fever pitch. Some people thought that Elena was being risky by being so obsessed with the shark, while others felt it was a credit to panic began to consume them. Amid the chasm, it was a contest of wits and a fight for one's life. Elena's fingertips, as if directed by an uncanny sense, uncovered a little item in the rubble, and it turned out to be the prototype of an acoustic shark deterrent that Elena had invented. Her desperation drove her to activate it, which caused an eerie song to be released into the ocean as it played. The massive shark started acting strangely, with its movements growing increasingly unpredictable, much to their surprise. It appeared as if the resonant notes held an ancient force that reverberated with the shark's most basic instincts. Elena and Nikos successfully escaped the abyss and returned to the surface, thanks to the temporary confusion caused by the shark. The fact that they survived was nothing short of a miracle, so the people looked up to them as heroes. Elena's encounter with the great white shark left a permanent impression on her, but she succeeded in discovering an exploration in the ocean's depths. The shark, which remained hidden formerly a sleepy fishing community, had developed into a center for protecting marine life. The Siren of the Deep had made it through the ordeal and evolved into a protector of the sea, and her legacy is still being felt today. In the end, the tale that the incident took a turn that nobody saw coming took an unexpected turn. Elena Vasquez had fought through the ocean's most treacherous obstacles and emerged victorious. Her case was brave, demonstrating the strong relationship between humans and the wild creatures that live in the ocean. As the sun descended below the horizon, it illuminated the calm seas of Cape Santorini with a brilliant glow. However, the memory of the great shark lingered, serving as a spooky reminder of the beauty beneath the water's surface. The wild tales of the sea were far from finished, and Elena's legacy will live on, motivating future generations to explore the oceans in summer of 1997. Specifically in the picturesque coastal town of Santa Catalina, California, an incredibly spine-tingling and hair-raising incident of suspense and terror began to unfold, captivating the attention and imagination of all those who were fortunate enough to bear witness to its unfolding. The picturesque town, which is widely known and celebrated for its breathtakingly beautiful rugged cliffs, pristine and untouched beaches, as well as its vibrant and diverse marine life, served as the perfect and stunning backdrop for an incredible encounter with the vast and unforgiving depths of the mighty Pacific Ocean. The picturesque town was filled with enthusiastic tourists who were irresistibly captivated by the enchanting allure of Santa Catalina's breathtaking natural beauty and the exhilarating prospect of embarking on unforgettable underwater escapades. Among the many fascinating individuals who graced the presence of her bravery, it was abundantly evident that something spectacular was happening below the azure waters. On an unfortunate morning, Elena ventured into the abyss to explore more about the shark. She set off on a dangerous voyage into the heart of the shark's domain, and her devoted sidekick, Nikos Katsaros, accompanied her on the adventure. Their submersible vehicle, which they referred to as Poseidon's Explorer, moved fluidly across the pristine waters. As they traveled further into the canyons, they were engulfed in the eerie stillness that the water provided. Nikos's grip on the controls became increasingly tenacious as Elena's heart rate quickened. At long last, they made out the enormous profile of a giant white shark as it smoothly circled the area. As Elena watched the shark through the reinforced glass of their submersible, her excitement could be felt by everyone else in the room. She was under the impression that this interaction would provide the answers she was looking for. The shark suddenly charged forward as if prompted by an unseen force and slammed into the submersible with incredible energy. The crash sent shockwaves through the water, captivating all fortunate enough to hear it. To the utter astonishment of the onlookers, the majestic and fearsome great white shark suddenly began to falter, its once graceful and powerful movements now displaying a perplexing combination of erratic and disoriented behavior. The sonorous notes emanating from the musical instrument seemed to possess an inexplicable and profound energy that reverberated through the air, captivating the human listeners and the primal instincts of the mighty shark, as if awakening a deep connection to its ancient ancestry. Taking advantage of the perfect moment, Sarah and Mark boldly decided to initiate the emergency ascent of the submersible, causing it to rise swiftly toward the surface with great speed and urgency. With its sharp teeth and powerful limbs, the formidable predator found itself in a state of confusion and astonishment upon hearing the haunting melody that echoed through the vast and dark abyssal depths where it resided. The miraculous escape of the duo, which left the authorities and residents of Santa Catalina astonished and relieved, was a remarkable event that captured the attention and admiration of all those who heard about it. Sarah, who had endured a series of physical assaults that left her with visible injuries and pain, was promptly and urgently transported to a nearby medical facility for immediate and necessary medical attention and care. Her harrowing brush with death during the heart-stopping encounter with the awe-inspiring great white shark had profoundly rattled her to the very depths of her being, leaving an indelible mark on her psyche and plaguing her restless nights with chilling, bone-chilling nightmares that transported her back to the unfathomable abyss where her life had hung in the balance. In the subsequent weeks that ensued, Sarah and Mark's diligent and dedicated research endeavors assumed a heightened sense of urgency and importance.